Good evening, everyone. We will go ahead and call this meeting to order. We want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and being a part of our April monthly call meeting. At this time, we'd ask if you would please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Will you please join us in the pledge? Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you once again, everyone for coming out. We do have a quorum. Everyone, item number 3 is approval of tonight's agenda. Mrs. C, are there any changes to tonight's agenda?
Yes, sir. I ask that we add the following to the agenda. Under item number 6, another delegation wishing to speak, Ms. Chelsea Simmons, about protocols for students. And if you would please add number 8D, I received a resignation today that we will look at, please.
Okay. Before considering the add to tonight's agenda, this time we'd like to consider a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Mr. Cole, second. Ricky, are there any discussions? Yes, ma'am.
I also like to ask another item to the agenda.
What item is that?
For the attorney, classification of board authority and member communication rights.
Is that the same email that you and I discussed before? And we said that you were not going to add, or is this something different?
This summer that I discussed with the attorney, they said it needs to be discussed in this meeting. If it needs to be discussed.
I said if she wanted to add something to the agenda, or she wanted to speak about something about the board, she had to do it in public, not in the executive session. And the proper way to do it would be to ask to be added to the agenda publicly, so that y'all can vote on it or allow it or whatever it is. But I don't, until 5 minutes ago, had no basic knowledge of what it was even about.
And what is this about, Mrs. Hawks?
It is about a letter of concern that I received.
Okay.
So I request that the board approve. I make a motion that the board allows the agenda to be amended to allow for the clarification of board authority and member communication rights to be added to the agenda of reference to letter of concern.
Okay. Board, with that correction, at this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to add Mrs. Marks' request to the agenda.
I'll second her motion.
We need a motion. Ricky, second. Brad, are there any further discussions? No further discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Agenda has been approved. The next item on the agenda will be our minutes for the March 9th meeting. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Ricky, second. Kobe, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, next item will be our financials for February. Mrs. Gillespie.
Yes, you'll find your February financials. All statements have been balanced and reconciled, and we're sitting at a 5-month reserve. We've ticked up a little every month and hope that continues. The revenue expenditure data that was provided, everything's on schedule for the payroll part of it and for the tax collection part of it. So we're at a good place to be. That's 5 months into the fiscal year.
Okay. With that being said, this time we'd like to entertain a motion to approve February 2026 financials. Mrs. Mark, second. Kobe, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We approve. The next item on the agenda will be delegation wishing to address the board. First up will be Mr. Beasley, sir?
Good evening. I apologize. I know what I'm going to speak on is kind of what was talked about March 9th. I wasn't able to attend that meeting. I was on the agenda, but it was recommended that I not come up here and speak under medication that I was on. So I'm just kidding. All right. So this is something that has been eating at me since we played in Montgomery, and reflecting on it while I've been at home recovering, it has helped me realize a few things that we need to. We've got some issues that we've got to clean up, and I mean that as a school, a community, educators, board people, whoever, it doesn't really matter. Over the last few years, I've seen it, and I don't know if it's because we've added so many more sports. We don't have that sense of school spirit like Geneva has always had. It's not there. That's the least amount of people I've ever seen at a regional championship. I've been 7 times. And this is probably the smallest group that I've ever seen. And that's sad. I don't know how to fix that. I blame myself too. I don't think as coaches and teachers, I don't think that we do enough to support that. Our kids are all a number. We're so worried about test scores that these kids aren't making any memories, except, man, I got to go to ACG training again. I got to go to ACAP, which is important. But these kids are also, I remember my high school memories. They are some of the finest memories I've ever had. These kids are trying to make memories. And so during this coaching, I can hear those boys up there, they're yelling. They inspired me to inspire my team. My team, they believed it. They were looking up there clapping. So this is leading to one statement that one student made to me a few days after. I got back from the game. Somebody said that there might be an issue. I heard about the issue. No big deal. I said, I'm proud of those boys. So, you know what? I'm going to feed them breakfast. That was when we played on Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I don't remember. But anyway. So the next day I found out who they were. I didn't even know who they all were. Fed them breakfast the next Thursday morning. And we were talking about it. And there was a couple kids that couldn't make the breakfast. And then I heard that there might be more to it than there was. And I got technical mad. I was going to get a technical. And it infuriated me. Because these kids, I love our kids. They're supporting something that doesn't get supported very much. Misty asked me if I was going to write something down. I said, no. I'm an emotional speaker because it means something to me. This school means something to me. This city means something to me. And so the next day I ran into one of the boys that couldn't come to breakfast. I said, I won't speak his name, but he's a tall young fellow. I said, look, I owe you breakfast. I said, I appreciate it. You don't know how much I appreciate what you did for those girls. Because we don't get a lot of support all the time. And he said, Coach, we're all Panthers. That's what we're supposed to do. Not just students, adults. Getting behind our students and our athletes. They give up a lot. There's a lot of pressure on these kids to do well in class, do well in their test scores, and do all the athletics that we want. Every sport. There's so many sports now that we can't support it all. Right now you got soccer, softball. My 3 minutes are up, I know. Heaven forbid. But if that statement of, Coach, we're all Panthers, that's what we're supposed to do, if that doesn't resonate with you, then we've got a bigger problem than what I said. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ms. Simmons, are you here?
board members. My name is Chelsea Simmons, and I would like to address the soft lockdown at school on April 8th, 2026. That has raised some concerns for me as a parent. Recently, my child was approached and questioned by law enforcement regarding a bag that did not belong to him. I believe that in such situations should be resolved within the school environment prior to involving students. While I understand the importance of exercises involving drug detection dogs, I believe it is crucial that these activities do not lead to distressing situations for students. The emotional well-being of children should be priority, and I feel strongly that appropriate measures should be in place to protect them during such instances. I do not want my children spoken to by law enforcement without my presence for any reason. Please let it be known I am not giving any administrator to act on my behalf by law enforcement when it pertains to my children. If I need to sign a opt-out document stating such, I can do that. Additionally, I would like to emphasize the importance of communication within our school community. It is concerning to me that the school superintendent chose not to respond directly to my request and instead escalated the matter to the school board attorney. Open and clear communication is vital in maintaining trust between parents and school officials. I would like to clarify that I am the one addressing this issue, not my child. I hope there will be no repercussions or retaliations for my children as a result of my concerns, as they are not involved in this matter regarding my desire to meet with the board. Thank you for considering my perspective of these matters. I appreciate your attention, and I look forward to finding ways to ensure a safe and supportive environment for all students. Let's be clear. This is not about if the school did not follow their current policies or the police did not follow their current policies. It is simply about civil rights of my children. Again, let me stress, I do not want my children spoken to by law enforcement without my presence for any reason while in school custody, especially over a teacher's mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Before I ask the school board attorney to address that, I wanted to clarify that when I spoke with Ms. C, I asked Ms. C to have the school board attorney to share with you actually the legal aspects of this. So this is why the school board attorney contacted you, is because I had asked Ms. C to get in touch with Mr. Noble. And Mr. Noble, if you could just address where we are with this, because I don't think it's an option as far as if law enforcement were involved in the lockdown.
Is the question whether or not they can, law enforcement's going to be involved in
Can speak to the children without the parents.
Yeah, when your kids in school, they're in what they call a loco parentis, which means the school is acting as their parent. The police have the right to come in and do the drug searches, and we encourage it. I mean, our first priority is to make sure that we've got a drug-free school zone. And so I think if your child had been arrested, at that point, so what they call super Miranda would trigger, and before they asked questions that they were going to use in investigation to criminally prosecute your son for a crime, then they would, at that point, contact you to give him super Miranda. But as far as the everyday ins and outs of how the school's run, I mean, the school's acting as your child's guardian.
That gives me the right to say something about it.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, you can say anything you want about it.
I'm not debating that with you, and I'm not debating that the dogs do not need to be in the school. I stress that to the city. I stress that some of these children take things into this school that if my child was exposed to it, it would probably kill him.
Sure.
I don't know if your school has Narcans. I don't know what your school is for. So yes, I do believe that these drug dogs do need to go to these schools. But the proper protocol, in my opinion, if a teacher is not 100% positive that that lunchbox, book bag, purse, school bag, whatever it is is not that child's bag. They should not go, I think it's Zayden's, but I'm not sure. And that is what happened last Wednesday.
And I don't want to turn this into
No.
an argument or debate, but I mean, how would they be able to ascertain whose it was without asking?
If they don't put a name.
Ma'am?
Don't sit there and go, I think it's Zayden's, whenever you're not sure.
Okay.
You understand?
So I understand if you feel like that somebody was asking, if that is a specific kid's bag,
Yeah.
and they didn't know, but, I mean, they've got to ask questions to figure out whose bag too.
Right, but if you have probable cause to go, if the dog hit on that particular bag, I know I can't name names.
I think where we are here tonight is that they had to figure out who bag it was, and they went through the process of elimination. I don't think it was never, from my understanding, they was never accused of doing anything wrong. They asked the question. Now, the police have, and that's what I wanted to clear up with the school board attorney, the police have the authority to ask any kid in the school system a question.
Yeah.
Now, if they're accusing
They
them,
also have the right to refuse to remain silent.
okay, I mean, that may be the case as well. But my point is, you were saying that you didn't want your child to be asked. I don't think that's an option as long as he's in the school system. And that's what we wanted to pass on.
I've never heard of that law.
No. So that's where we are. No, ma'am. So next item on the agenda, Ms. Marks, your statement.
A concern has risen regarding a letter issued to me that I feel it appears to exceed the individual authority and misrepresents the board's action and restricts board members' rights without proper process, documentation, or board approval. On the 20th of March, I received a letter of concern from the board chairman. And the key findings, when after receiving that letter, the chairman, when I look at the chairman authority in accordance with Alabama Code 16-11-9, it says under the code that board acts as a collective body, not through an individual member. So I guess the question would be, I know I was not involved, so the chairman's role is limited to presiding, coordinating, facilitating, not disciplining or directing fellow board members. While the chairman may express personal concerns, this particular letter that I received actually uses language implying collective authority, which is a formal concern, priority, which create the appearance that there is an official board action without authorization. The improper representation of the board action, it says formal concerns in there. This action was not on the board agenda. It was not discussed during open discussion. And it did not receive a majority board vote during an open meeting. There's no evidence of that, to my recollection. If it was, I was not present in that board open meeting, and since I've been on the board, I have not missed a board meeting. Also, within the letter, it states that there was superintendent communication restriction for me as a board member. The superintendent serves the entire board, not selectively. There is no written documentation that I have been provided that outlines any complaints from the superintendent. There's not been any communication restrictions. There's not been any policy justification with that. There also hasn't been any informal directive to limit communication in writing, which creates unequal access to information for me as a board member if the superintendent is saying that I, as a board member, do not have access to her one-on-one. Mischaracterization of professional background. There was also statements from the chairman previously pertaining to my military background that I am intimidating or threatening, which is inappropriate and unsubstantiated, which is misrepresented to my honorable military service, and it should not be used to justify government's limitation. In a due process, there's no evidence of prior notice, period, that regardless of the chairman being wanting to give me a letter, there was never any notification, there was never a phone call that he said, let's discuss these things, let's direct discussions, no direct discussions with myself. So that does raise communication that anything that the chairman was informed of, it is just one-sided, and it is unverified information that I had no input or I could not respond to. So if discussions occur among the majority of the members, then I'm not allowed to reply to, inform anyone of what's going on, then that definitely is unfair. And especially if it is not being conducted in an open meeting forum. Governance and legal risks considered, potential concerns, the Open Meetings Act implications. Like I said, there's also defamation, exposure to me, and then there's also the governance breakdown, failure to follow the structured process. And then just the impact of that, the letter that misrepresents the individual authority as board members, it undermines government structure, and it restricts a board member's access and participation, creates a reputational and procedural risk for the board. And the core governance principles, the board acts as a body, not individual. All members are have equal authority and access. Formal concerns require process, transparency, and opportunity to respond. And in conclusion, I would say that the chairman letters appears to exceed established government's norms, bypass required procedures, and creates both practical and legal concerns. Corrective actions and clarifications are necessary to preserve board integrity, fairness, and compliance with laws and policy. That concludes my portion.
Thank you, Ms. Marks. Next item on the agenda would be the superintendent's report. Ms. C.
All right, I just want to publicly thank the city for allowing us to use their facilities. We have made a great start. Mr. Don Gamey, he's being led by Brent Justice over facilities in remodeling our office to make room, so doing an awesome job there. And also, I just wanted to make it known that when we had ESSER funds, and those ran out last year, we made a line item in the budget to supply student school supplies, and these are basic ones, and so we're gearing up for that for the 26-27 school year. I think that really helps a lot of our families in the community, and we'll continue to go forward with that for the basic school supplies. Now I'll call on our principals and our head of departments. We'll start with Mr. Brent Justice.
Good news. Radios are up and running now. Finally, we got radios in every bus. A few sub buses. We have 3 on each campus, 2 administrators and 1 with the secretary at all times. So I feel like we're good and covered there. 89% done on our window tent. Mr. Silk's been working hard. He works after hours. I see him pulling up by the time we're leaving. He's got a little while to go, but he's worked hard. We've got our windscreen going up at Mulkey for the playground. Ran into a little snag on that. We made the fence extremely heavy. As we were putting it up, we noticed how it was blowing, so we're going to have to find a way to brace it before we continue. So if you see some of it up, like we just stopped, that's why. But we'll continue on the chain link. You should be able to find on the chain link. It's just a heavy aluminum where we had a problem. As Ms. C said, we're working hard on the central office. We also had another walkthrough with Ms. Enfinger to look at securing our entries, what that would look like, and overall, her getting an idea of a proposal to keep our kids inside, moving indoors, what that would look like. And so she took pictures, she's going to get ideas. This stuff takes a little time, but she'll get back with us and we'll have a good idea to present to you guys and see what kind of appetite we have for budgets and all that. Look at, possibly sometime maybe next summer, looking into keeping our campus center, our middle school and our high school secure.
Thank you, Mr. Justice. Ms. Erica Wright?
I don't have anything new. We're just rocking and rolling with the AP season and pre-K amendments. So
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Mr. Cruz?
I'll start off, sounds like a little positivity here. So the ACT, even though Coach Bixby, I love sports too, but our achievement scores went up. So we'll get a report on that soon. We're proud of that group and the hard work that they put in, so you'll hear from us soon. He did say this, and I do want to repeat it. We do have a lot of stuff going on, if you didn't know that. Softball won the area championship last week, so they'll be hosting the area tournament in a few weeks. Baseball has a chance this week if they can beat HA to, they're already in the playoffs, but it's up now whether you're the area champion or the runner-up. Soccer, they got the first win. The boys did last week, first win they've had in 2 years, I believe. The girls are one win away from playoffs again. Track, Coach Williams told me the other day that we had all of our relay teams most likely they're going to make state again this year. Coach Bixby's got one golfer that's got a good chance to move forward. So a lot of good things. And the fishing team, they're having the best year they've had yet, I think. And they made it to the Nationals one time. So they brought a bunch of trophies. We're running out of room to put them. So a lot of good things going there. April 27th, we're having an academic banquet. You guys will get an invitation soon. Mr. Clausdale is going to be our guest speaker that night. And it's supposed to be in the vintage room this year. So we're working through the details. Ms. Debbie Johnson's retirement's kind of we're mixing and matching to make sure we get it all together. So that'll be coming soon. You should get that invitation. Tonight we have a freshman parent meeting at 6:30 in the auditorium. The freshmen did a walkthrough today. Ms. Henderson and Ms. Bynum helped show them around, tell them what we had to offer, talk about the different possibilities for them moving forward and making sure they understand what they do in their freshman year next year matters all the way down the road. Everything matters one step at a time. And looking at this agenda, there's some big losses if approved, but we're thankful for the people that have put in the effort and have worked hard and, earned the right to retire or move forward or move on or whatever it may be. So we're excited for them. And I did want to say on a good note is there were no drugs found at the lockdown. So that is positive, and that's what we want to continue to keep the safe school. And I do appreciate Mr. Justice and the radios. I mean, those things are huge to have that communication between each other. And, the continued work, he had a lady in this week looking at the school and continuing to find ways to keep us safe from the outside, because as we've said many times, our school is open for anybody to be able to walk up at any time. So we're continuing to make strides to make it safer and safer for our students. So we're excited about that. So thank you, Board.
Thank you. All right, with our career tech, Ms. Wendy Metz.
So we have Steer Your Career Day is coming up at Morkie on April the 29th. Wednesday is the last day for our partners to let us know if they would like to participate and volunteer. Mr. Van had 2 FFA teams to place at district competition. Ag construction and small engines will compete at state in June. Health science students are starting to test next week for CNA certification. Also, next week, I have 8 FBLA members that will be competing at state conference in Mobile. FCCLA is having a local interview competition, and the customer service CRI that's offered through Skills for Success through ESCC will be upcoming and embedded in Ms. Galloway's classes, and Ms. Henderson has been approved as, our career coach has been approved as the instructor, so that's great news. Job shadowing day is April the 23rd for students who applied, and placement is being set up or finalized this week, actually. And he mentioned the 8th graders came and toured today, and I attended the Active Directors Conference last week, and we have some changes in CTE for the upcoming school year. Shocker, I know. So some changes in our clusters, credentials, and the new workforce seal. Now students that take 4 CTE classes will earn a workforce seal. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Metz. the middle school. Mr. White?
Yes, ma'am. ACAP testing is over. It is a lot of pressure on the teachers, there's a lot of pressure on the students. We do put a lot of, Coach Bixby's right, we do put a lot of emphasis on that because that's where the majority of our letter grade comes from. We're finished with that. We're doing a little celebrating now for the sake of the kids. We're going to have this Friday's field day. I would like to invite y'all to our awards night, which is May the 7th at the high school auditorium. It's going to start at 6. Then we'll have an in-house awards day. You're welcome to come to that from 12:30 until the end of the school day. That's May 15th. And then we're shifting into scheduling mode and looking at what next year looks like and how to be most efficient for the middle school and the sake of our kids. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. White. Now for the elementary school, Ms. Nixon.
Yes, I want to also thank Coach Justice. He's been on several projects at Mulkey to make sure that we're safe with our windscreen, the tent, the radios. So I just want to give them a little shout out. But yeah, we've been busy since spring break, preparing and taking ACAP. Last week we had the ELA portion. This week, starting tomorrow, we have the math. During my observations, those kids are locked in. You can tell that they have prepared. Those teachers have done their jobs. They're engaged and they're trying their best. And so I'm excited to see what will come through that. I want to brag on Ms. Parrish, who is our assistant principal, but also our building test coordinator. And she is also training Ms. Wallace, our new guidance counselor, together. They have been an awesome team. Testing has gone so smoothly. We also have incentives in place. The kids have been receiving candy, they've also received gift cards. We have a Wally trip that's scheduled, and so I'm just ready to see the fruits of all that hard work. We have a lot going on just in April. We have kindergarten registration, we have field day, we have field trips, and like Miss Wendy said, steer your career with Coach Henderson, Mrs. Henderson, with 3rd through 5th grade. That's exciting and new for our students. And also, on top of all this testing, we also have our end of the year, early years assessments coming up too, our iReady and Renaissance assessments, and we're just waiting to see the progress from the beginning of the year till now. And we're just on our way, marching on into summer. We're getting close.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Coach Justice, I wanted to acknowledge, we were looking at grass the other day, and I tell you, it looks like somebody's out there manicuring the yard, so it looks really, really
Long
good.
way to go, we'll get there.
Yeah, well, you've come a long way, so we certainly appreciate that. Next, we'll turn it over to superintendent for her recommendation.
Okay. So you have had before you the protocols from AASB for myself, the superintendent, CSFO, and board evaluation. So after reviewing those protocols, it's my recommendation that you all as a board approve AASB protocols for superintendent, CSFO, and board evaluations. Please.
After hearing the recommendation of the superintendent, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the AASB's protocol for superintendent, CSFO, and board evaluation. This time, we'd like to entertain a motion. Ricky, second. Kobe, are there any discussions? Yes, sir.
This discussion, only discussion is, once approved, are we gonna get those, electronically in, so we can get those, for Mr. Nichols, for the,
You say you want electronic copy?
no, we had talked about getting them in through the survey monkey.
Survey monkey, yes.
We're gonna process through like that process once we get this
Sure.
approved. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
I would just say, under my contract, I think mine's under 18 months,
Right.
so
Yeah.
after that, but yes, he will upload into Survey Monkey.
Yes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We are approved.
Okay, the next item is our textbook adoption, and we usually have this around November each year whenever the state passes it down, but it took quite a while for the state. So at their last state meeting in March, they have finally approved this adoption list for social studies and art education materials. So it's with that, my recommendation is that you all approve the textbook adoption for social studies and art education materials set forth by ALSDE.
We're hearing the recommendation of the superintendent. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the textbook adoption for social studies and art educational mathematics that has been approved already by the LSD. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion. Brad, second. Kobe, are there any discussions? No discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We approve.
The next item, we have a couple retirements. The superintendent recommends accepting the retirement of Mrs. Kim C. as Geneva High School math teacher, and this will be effective 6/1/26.
Board, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the recommendation of the retirement of Mrs. Kim C. as the Geneva High School math teacher effective 6/1/26. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion. Ricky, second. Brad, are there any discussions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Approved.
Okay. And the final retirement, the superintendent recommends accepting the retirement of Ms. Crystal C. as Mulkey Elementary School C&P manager, and again, this will be effective 6/1/26.
Board, hearing the recommendation of the superintendent, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the retirement of Mrs. Kat Christo C., Mulkey Elementary C&P manager, effective 6/1/26. Mrs. Mark, second. Kobe, are there any further discussions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We approve.
All right. Now for our resignations, the superintendent recommends accepting the resignation of Ms. DeAndre Nesbitt as GMS GHS art teacher, and this is effective March 30th, 2026.
With the recommendation of the superintendent, actually, we would accept the resignation of Ms. DeAndre Nesbitt as GMS GHS art teacher effective March 30th, 2026. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval. Ricky, second. Brad, are there any discussions? No discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We approve.
Okay. The next one, the superintendent recommends accepting the resignation of Ms. Dana White as GHS special education teacher, and this will be effective the last day of school, May 22nd, 2026.
Board of Superintendents recommend that we accept the resignation of Ms. Dana Wyatt as GSH special education teacher effective May 22nd, 2026. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Kobe, second. Ms. Marks, are there any further discussions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We approve.
Okay. And the final resignation, the superintendent recommends accepting the resignation of Ms. Christina Cook as Mulkey Elementary general education teacher, and this is also effective the last day of school, 5/22/26.
Would you heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we would receive and approve the resignation of Ms. Christina Cook as Mulkey Elementary School General Education Teacher effective May 22nd, 2026. At this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Ricky, second. Ms. Marks, are there any further discussions? Yes.
She's a Mulkey Elementary School first grade teacher.
Are there any other discussions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We all approve.
All right, I'm excited about doing this next. One's our recommendation. The superintendent recommends that the Geneva City Board of Education approve the hire of Mr. Brent Johnson as the GMS principal, and this will take place July 1st of 2026.
Would you heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we will approve the hiring of Mr. Brent Johnson as the Geneva Middle School principal effective July 1st, 2026. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion. Ricky, second. Kobe, are there any discussions? No discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We are approved.
All right, for our technology coordinator for the system, I recommend that the Geneva City Board of Education approve the hire of Mr. Michael Morris as the GCS technology coordinator, and again, this will be effective July 1st of 2026.
We're hearing the recommendation of the superintendent. She's asking if the board would approve the hiring of Mr. Michael Morris as the Geneva City Schools Technology Coordinator effective July 1st, 2026. At this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Brad, second. Tawana, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Are you sustained or are you voting this morning? Oh, voting yes? Okay. Unanimous. Thank you.
Okay. This next position, we heard from the state, and I think we are one of the last school systems to receive a math coach. Was a good thing because they put us on a tiered approach, and it was like the most neediest schools got them first, and so that's a good thing. But we're excited to have a allocation for a math coach beginning next school year. So with that, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the hire of Ms. Miranda Lamb as Mulkey Elementary School's math coach effective for the 26-27 school year.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we will approve the hiring of Mrs. Miranda Lamb as the Mulkey Elementary School math coach effective the 2026-2027 school year. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Colby, second. Ricky, are there any discussions? No discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We are approved.
All right. The superintendent recommends that the Geneva City Board of Education approve the hire of Ms. Brooke Bynum as a Mulkey Elementary School general education teacher effective for the 26-27 school year.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we will approve the hiring of Mrs. Brooke Bynum as Mulkey Elementary School general education teacher effective the 2026-2027 school year. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Brad, second. Colby, are there any further discussions? No further discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We are approved.
All right, the next one. The superintendent recommends that the Geneva City Board of Education approve the hire of Ms. Molly Salter as Mulkey Elementary School general education teacher effective for the 26-27 school year.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that will approve the hiring of Ms. Molly Salter as the Mulkey Elementary School general education teacher for the 2026-2027 school year. This time, we'd like to entertain a motion. Ricky, second. Colby, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We are approved.
Okay, and the last one, but certainly not least, superintendent recommends the Geneva City Board of Education approve the hire of Ms. Molly Van as Mulkey Elementary School general education teacher effective for the 26-27 school year.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we will approve the hiring of Ms. Molly Van as the Mulkey Elementary School general education teacher effective 2026-2027 school year. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Ms. Mark, second. Colby, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We are approved. Ms. Skinner, did you have anything? We didn't. It's all right. Board, anything for the good of the order? Okay. We are so grateful for you coming out, and I wanted I want the audience to understand that we don't pose or allow questions normally unless you're on the agenda. So I don't want you to think that I'm being rude and disregarding what you had to say. I'm sure you had something important to say. I would encourage you to get on the agenda if you want to speak out, if you want to say something. At some point, maybe we might add public comments, but right now that's not the case. And we want to follow the guidelines that's in place. So I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you, that I'm just this rude person that don't want to hear what you got to say. That's not the case. And I certainly want you to understand that coming from the position. So by all means, if you want to address the board, please feel free to get on the agenda, contact the superintendent, and we will be more than happy to hear what you have to say to the board. Once again, just want to echo, thank the city. Mr. Lee, thank you and the city for allowing us to be able to come out and to use this facility. We lost our conference room, and we lost it for a good thing. We actually was able to hire 2 new positions there. So they take the conference room and they're turning it into offices. So we were able to come down and use this great facility that has been built for the community. And I'm so grateful that the city council approved for us to be here, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, that is why it's here.
Yes.
For community use, and our mayor and council is looking forward to the day that we could have other voters to be here.
Yes. And thank you so much once again. Like I said, hopefully going forward we may be able to do public comments. I certainly want to get our public more involved in what we're doing. I would tell you, and I just want to encourage each and every one of us, I do know that there are some things that's happening outside of the Geneva area that has gotten involved in our school system. The State Department is involved. and serving on the governance task force for disruptive board members, I understand how the process began, and I don't want that to happen to Geneva. And I do know the state superintendent is involved through some of the complaints that are going on right now. So I ask that you would continue to pray for our school system, pray that we continue to grow together. The most important thing we do is for our children. And if that's not our goal, then we probably need to relook at what we're doing. But I thank our board for their support. I thank you, our community, for your support. And we're looking forward to what Panther is going to do in the near future. Our next board meeting is scheduled for May the 11th at 5:30. At this time, if there's no further discussion, board, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn. Colby, second. Ricky, all in favor, say aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.